Good evening, everybody. Bear with me while I make sure my sound is doing good. Good. So, good. Okay, I need to up my. 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 Or this. Testing one, two. Or this. Testing one, two. Okay, sounds good. Testing one, two. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so I just got finished watching Georgie's. I just got finished watching
I need to.
Georgie's. I just got finished watching. Okay, now we're set. uh, I'm not the greatest at this YouTube stuff, but I'm learning. Anyway, so I just got finished watching Georgie's video, and yeah, he's 100% correct. Ukraine's finally starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel, and we're basically trying to throw a bag over their head and say, no, 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 don't go to the light. And it's kind of sickening to me because, yeah, the whole Procross thing was dangerous, but Ukraine stopped them and pushed them back. And oh, just so you know, we're looking at the live air raid alert map right now. I don't think there's a time where there isn't an air alert in Ukraine anymore. I think Russia's realized that they cannot win on the ground, so they're throwing missiles, they're throwing drones from Iran, they're throwing everything they can, and they're still not gaining ground. Okay, yeah, okay, little minor stuff here and there, but okay, Deep State Map day 944. Besides, like, the dark red here is the lines that they've held since 2014. For the most part, all the advances that they've made were at the beginning under a surprise attack with reportedly turncoats opening the way for them and guiding them. Since that opening assault, they have not made any significant gains. I mean, okay, for Croft, yeah, okay, they made this little bulge, but you realize so in 10 years, they have gone 32 kilometers. You know, they've held that ground since 2014. You know, this dark red, light purple, they've held that area since 2014. And in 10 years, they have gone 32 miles, or excuse me, 32 kilometers. You know, you look at, like, you know, talks about New York. Let's restart that. 5 kilometers? And let's make the smallest distance here. 3 kilometers. In 10 years, they've moved 3 kilometers from the territory they already hold. And Russia's winning somehow? You know, since that initial invasion, they got pushed back. Get out of it. They got pushed back out of Kherson. They got pushed back out of here. They're making these little tiny pushes, and we're talking about them like they're huge, game-changing, Ukraine's gonna fall if this town falls. No, it's not. There's one town I would worry about falling that would cause Ukraine to fall. Lviv. Because I've met Ukrainians. I know their tenacity. I've talked to them in person when I was in Kyiv. They're not giving up. Even if Russia takes control of everything but a little sliver, they're still going to be throwing Molotovs, whether the US, EU gives them equipment or not. They'll sit there and fight them with Molotovs and sticks if they have to. Ukraine is not going anywhere, in my opinion. They're going to stick right where they are. And, I said in the beginning of the war, and people berated, hated me, yelled at me for saying this, but I said at the beginning of the war, Russia does not give up until it reaches at least 500,000 casualties. We're there now. We're starting to see the pressure from the Russian citizens on the government to do something. Not quite all the way there yet, but we're starting to see it. You can talk about Kursk, you can talk about Покrovsk. Other guys are doing that. Volodar, that's rough, yeah. But you're talking about a small gain for Russian advancing. And they put so many lives. Since the initial advance, they had what? 75,000 casualties when they lost control of Kherson. 50,000 when they lost control of Izium and up to Kupiansk. We're now looking at over 600,000 Russians casualties. And now's when we start asking the Ukraine to concede territory. It's just dumb on our leaders' part, I think. Anyway, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. The other thing is people are worried about the future of, companies coming in and investing in Ukraine and Ukraine joining EU. And I know this is a touchy subject for some because it's politics. But this is the map of EU right now. European Union. They have two potential candidates to join, Turkey and Ukraine. Obviously, Ukraine can't join because it's under, it just would bring the EU into a war with Russia, and that's not a good situation. Turkey is leaning more and more towards Russia, it seems, in my mind. And I don't know if that choice would work. But where I see Ukraine's future is not necessarily part of the EU, but as a trade partner of the EU. Now, in the US, we have the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA. Um, Basically, Mexico has been our low cost local labor force for 30 years. Um, and just now, Mexico's getting to the point that Mexico needs a Mexico from 30 years ago for low cost labor. And I think they're looking at Brazil as a trade partner. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't read up exactly on it. I'm going off of a few lectures I've watched in my memory, so yeah. But if the EU did a free trade agreement with Ukraine, they would have access to a low cost manufacturing plant that's easy to ship to. Right now, EU's free trade agreements are with Canada. You have to ship across an ocean. Central America, again, Chile, South America, Colombia, South America, Japan on the other side of Asia from Europe, Mexico, again, across the ocean, New Zealand, you know, a lot of Asian free trade. There's UK, but UK is not low cost. They're a high labor cost. There isn't really any other choice for them to have a local free trade agreement with a lower cost workforce than Ukraine. And I'm sorry, you could make the argument that they could do that with Russia after the war. But we all know, or all understand anyways, that Russia's manufacturing can't be trusted. It's ran by a kleptocracy. That's not an easy thing to say. Um, you know, to their own military, they're giving them inferior parts because somebody stole the plates out of the plate armor carriers. It's like, but they're still shipping them as full units. Now, would you, as a company, want to deal with that kind of supplier? So, really, the only choice that the EU has is Ukraine. Don't know what else to say. And the thing that amazes me is like the EU politicians don't see this. And the one, I guess maybe a few do, but the ones that do are not the ones being heard. I don't know. That's just where my mind is going. I just wanted to say something about it and get that off my brain before something else. Anyways, Thanks for listening. See you on the next language video. Have a good night. Stay safe, everybody.